So one of the most important tools we'll be using as a developer is the built-in browser development toolkit. When developing a website, we're going to be testing CSS and HTML and JavaScript, and it's going to be very difficult to do without the built-in tools that we have. So let's take a look at what these tools look like. I've opened up the Refactor U homepage, and I'm going to open up the DevTools by going to the menu, choosing Tools, and choosing Developer Tools. You can also open these by doing Command-Option-I. So we'll only be looking at this one tab right now, the Elements tab, and this is the way to debug your CSS and HTML. The rest of these tabs have to do with other parts of the debug process. So here on the left, we'll see our Elements tab. And you can see that as I'm mousing over items, they're highlighting within the page. It also tells us the dimensions of the item, as well as any classes it has in the viewport. I can drill down into different elements to see what's contained within. One thing you'll notice is that the color in the viewport has to do with the layout of the element. The blue stands for the content of the element, while the green represents the padding of that element. This element shows it a little clearer, but it's also showing the orange on the sides. Orange represents margin. So from here on the left side of the tab, we can see all the HTML on our page. If there's an element that you want to locate, but you don't want to navigate through the bar on the left here, clicking the magnifying glass will toggle on Click to Select mode. And as we mouse around the page, it will highlight different elements and allow us to click them to select them. On the right here, we have the Styles tab. Here we'll be able to debug and view all of the CSS that's applied to the current selected item. Here we can see I've got the button danger span selected, and I can see that it's getting a white color, a background color, and a border color from our bootstrap.min.css file. The checkboxes on the left allow us to toggle these different rules on and off. We can even add our own rules to change the formatting of this element on the fly. Note that this isn't saved to our CSS file. We'll get into that more later. Reloading the page will reset it to the default styles of the style sheets. Any rule that you see that's crossed out without the little exclamation point icon, such as this WebKit box sizing, means that it's being overridden by another rule. So possibly something in the same rule or something above. The exclamation point icon stands for a confused variable. The browser doesn't know what to do with this. It's not relevant to this specific browser. Maybe it's relevant to a different browser like Firefox. At the very bottom of the Styles tab, we can see the computed layout. This will show us values for the margin, border, padding, and content. Switching to the Computed tab will show us that same layout, but it will show us all the rules that actually apply to this element. This is the final rule set that is actually rendering this button.